These young men and ladies have been working pretty hard to get to this place. I'm sure you're all very proud of them.
Squadron, attention on deck.
Should we not sweating in here? Maybe. Were they sweating in here?
Squadron, take, seats.
Drive like a rock.
Okay, we're gonna see, just like you guys kind of do like when you guys are in school, backs are straight, right? Hands on your knees, looking up. All right, squadron. Welcome to Friday, and it is Acclimation Graduation Day, so congratulations. Everyone take a deep breath. Woo, let it out. You made it. Congratulations. Who would have thought? 2 weeks just flew by. Man, you guys rocked it. All right. You guys worked hard. Some of you guys had some tears. Some of you guys had some sore backs and sore legs. Some people had a little bit of blood. All right. We had some definitely some meltdowns, but other than that, you guys figured out what was best for you guys, and you guys pushed through all the hard parts to be here. I'm really proud of you guys. Mentally, it was probably pretty hard for some of you. Like I said, for some of you maybe not, but for some of you, mentally it was probably the biggest thing is because you guys have been away from your parents for probably the first time in like 2 whole entire weeks, right? You guys a little homesick a little bit, okay? Some of you maybe the physical aspect, the PT was a little bit harder for you guys than you guys normally. Most of you guys, some of you guys were probably laying on your couch or in your bed watching your videos and your phone for 24/7. All right. So many of you guys probably were not up for 16 hours a day on your feet. So a lot of your feet hurt. Okay. And another thing is your education. A lot of you guys haven't been going to school or doing your homework for quite a bit. We actually pushed you guys into a lot of classes for you guys to learn what our standards and what the procedures were going to be. Okay. Yesterday was a big day, right? We started off with a couple classes. You started off with a team builder from Bethany. People like our team builder exercise. All like that. But yeah, we all learned that when you guys get to be able to talk, what produces it if it's not reined in? It produces what? Chaos. Right? That's what we learned. All right? So what I want you guys to think about is that when we get our uniforms here, and we put on those uniforms, just like the sergeants have on theirs, is that you're going to have IDYCA CA, and you're going to have your name. You're not going to have your name right away. We have to order those, okay? But you're going to have IDYCA, and you're going to have your name. So your name is who you are, right? That's what you came to us for. But just to let you know that the other patch is IDYCA, and that is because you are part of us now. You are part of our family. You have made it through, and you will forever be part of our family. We had a reunion in June down in Boise for our 10-year reunion. We had cadets from 14-1, that was 10 years ago, show up, and they were pretty excited. They were really doing well, and they had good stories to tell, and it was so fun to see them. They're still part of our family 10 years later. You guys are part of that legacy. You guys get to be part of that, because you guys put forth the effort, and you guys are sleeping in the seats. You guys said I'm going to accept the challenge. Challenges are hard, correct? Yes. Challenges are hard, right? If I just gave you your credits, what would it matter? If I just told you it's okay, just here it is. Here's money, people, go spend it. It's better when you earn it. It's better when you work for it. And you guys have to figure that out. So in the next couple of weeks when we start school, just know that those credits, I'm not giving it to you. Teachers aren't going to give them to you. You have to earn them. You have to do the work. You have to turn in the work. I'm not your mom, and neither are the teachers. They're not going to take your work and turn it in for you. And we don't have a dog on campus, and he doesn't going to eat your homework, so you can't use that excuse. Right? Okay? So that's up to you guys. You guys are the ones who have to do the work, put it in, to get the credit. I'm going to tell you right now that blown away. Last class we had 85%, I think, had A's and B's. 85% is progress. Right? We only had one F. Okay? Because we take away your phones. Things you guys did here. So it's pretty impressive. But I just want to say I'm proud of you guys. I'm very thankful for the guardsmen who came. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out with the squadron for the past 2 weeks. Without you guys, we wouldn't have been where we are today. Thanks to the staff who made this possible, that you guys are all butts in seats. I know a couple of them had to do some moments talking with you guys, a little bit of crying times and all that stuff, but that's what the staff is here for. We're here for you guys anytime. Anytime, any day of the week. That's what we're here for. But I want you guys to understand that we're not done. Just because you graduated Acclimation doesn't mean that we're done. All right? It's only 2 weeks. We still got 28 more to go. And they're going to go by fast when school starts. And once you go to service and community projects. And once you do your life skills and all that stuff. We have so much in store for you guys, but you got to get on. You guys get on the bandwagon and say, that's what I want. Does that make sense? Yes. All right, so for the past week, we've been missing our director. And he has been away at a director's conference, and so he just flew in and just drove right here, and he just showed up about 15 minutes ago. So he's super excited to be back. I'm happy that he's back.
She doesn't have to do the speech.
I don't have to do the speech. My speech is what I told you, but he is super excited to probably tell you a little bit about what he heard over with the other challenges that are around the nation and how they're doing, but also he wants to make sure that you guys know how much he's very proud of each and every one of you for being here. So good job, and for that, we're going to clap for the director. When we do claps, we do 5 claps. Okay? All right, so when I say, please welcome the director, we're going to do 5 claps. And we're going to all do it together. I know you guys can do this. So please welcome Director Sparrow.
So let's do that one more time, but let's do it for the guardsmen that have been here for the last 2 weeks. Let's say, thank you, guardsmen. Thank you for all your help over the last couple weeks. I don't even know why we put this podium up here.
We don't use it.
Apologize for the jeans. I wasn't going to fly in dress clothes. And I had so many thoughts going through my head. Deputy laughed at me when I got here because I pulled out my Delta napkin. So I wrote my thoughts down on my Delta napkin. So that's what you get. Hopefully I can make sense of them. And that you'll understand what I'm saying and that I don't just pass out because of jet lag. Where if somebody goes, will you help me out with it? Pass out? Okay, good. You might need help. Will you help her? Okay. I wanted to talk to you. I'm glad Deputy talked a little bit about legacy because that's what I was thinking about on the plane when I was over there, we as program directors and staff that were with us talked about the fact that there's been 213,000 graduates from challenge programs around the nation. By the way, did you guys think we were the only challenge? Who knew that there was other challenge programs? Raise your hand. How many other challenge programs? Does anybody have a guess? Right there.
49 other.
49? No, a little too high. Way too low. Yeah.
5.
Way too high. One last one. Huh? 10. Mr. Billups, are you not sharing? No, I'm just kidding. I know we shared this in your orientation, but when you're in orientation, you're probably thinking, what the heck am I here for, right? There's 38 other challenge programs around the nation, and there's 6 job challenge programs. And for those of you who don't know what Job Challenge is, Job Challenge is a program for challenge graduates. Yes, some of you might think, why in the heck would I go back to a challenge program? Especially right now, after the first 2 weeks, you're like, I'm not doing that again. But it's only for challenge graduates, and you get to go back for another residential stay, anywhere between 10 and 20 weeks, depending on what vocational track that you take. So those job challenge programs, they get to certify their cadets, actually they call them associates, in the job challenge, because it's more like a community college feel. But they get to certify them in something, whether it be a CNA or a CDL driver or something, whatever field they're interested in, that's something in demand for the state. We are trying to get one here in Idaho. And there might be a possibility that some of you could take advantage of that job challenge if we get it established here in the next year or two. So be thinking about that. It won't be ready by the time you guys graduate, but we can take you in job challenge up to 21 years old. So it might be something you want to come back and do later on. Or some of you might run after graduation and say, see you later, right? But 213,000 graduates over 31 years. That's how long the challenge program has been established. It was established in 1993. So when you do the math on that, does anybody quick math in their head? I'll just help you for sake of time. That's 6,900 graduates on average a year. That sounds like a lot. But when you think about the fact that that's over the whole United States and all of the youth around the whole United States, 6,900 youth, 6,900 youth is not a lot. So you guys are literally joining a part of a legacy. Something that has been around for decades now. Something the National Guard Bureau is very proud of. They're proud of you. They're proud of the past accomplishments. We've had past cadets that have gone on to guard the President of the United States from our program. And there's other cadets that have gone on to be generals and majors and captains and successful business people, millionaires running businesses around the country. Challenge can change you. That's what we tell you, and that's what's possible. You just have to believe it. So I wanted to talk. So does anybody know what legacy is? I mentioned it. Deputy mentioned it. What's legacy?
Legacy is essentially
Like this group, I guess, group of certain people that have gone on for months, years, decades, or even centuries.
Yeah.
Like ancestry almost.
Yeah, I saw your hand next. Yes, all those.
something that lives on for certain people.
Something that lives on, okay?
What you leave behind.
What you leave behind, all right? Last one.
Yeah, what you're not.
Gems are rocking it up here. Okay, what you leave behind, yeah. So, kind of the definition of legacy is the long-lasting effects of an event or actions that a person takes or is a part of. And so, who here thinks of a legacy like something that somebody that's rich and famous leaves behind? Yes? No? It's okay. Who thinks that it's something that your grandfather or your grandmother left behind? All right? I'm glad. You should all raise your hand because you are part of that legacy. You wouldn't be here without them. Who thinks that everyone leaves a legacy? Please raise, all of you raise your hands. There you go. Yes. Every one of you, every one of us in this room will leave a legacy behind, whether we want to or not. A legacy isn't always positive. I'm sure you can think of some people in your mind that have not left a positive legacy behind in your life, or in somebody else's life that you know. And then I'm sure you can think of somebody that's left a positive legacy behind. We all leave a legacy behind us. And it doesn't start when you're an adult. It doesn't start when you've grown up or gone on to find a job. It starts right now. Every day you have to make a choice about what your legacy looks like. So I wanted to share a couple of points. I got me thinking at the conference about that. You'll learn over the next 20 weeks that I'm pretty big on what are we leaving behind. What's our effect? What's our imprint on the world? So we actually talked about this book. And has anybody ever watched the YouTube video with Admiral McRaven? He was a Navy SEAL about making your bed. Yeah? I see some of you. Good. You probably have you watched it here yet? All right. So you know who Admiral McRaven is. And so you know that some of my points, I'm reiterating some of the points you probably already heard. He talks a little bit about the circus. And so I can see some head nods, so I think it's probably in the video. The circus in Navy SEAL training that they had was you spend some time pull-ups and the runs, and then if you didn't make they would print off a list. And at the end of the day, if you were on that list, you didn't come up to standard for the day for your PT, then you got to go for an additional 2 hours. You got invited to the circus, is what he called it. And it was an additional 2 hours of PT. So I'll write it out. You're tired, you're worn out, you get to go do another 2 hours. And then he makes the point that every single one of those, everybody ended up being on the list at one point or the other. Sometimes it was because you were so tired about doing the circus the night before, and you didn't make your mark the next day, so you got invited again, and it was just over and over and over again. His point in that video was, what do you think happened to those people that didn't give up, that kept going to the circus, kept getting invited back? What happened? Let's go over here. They eventually made it. Why? Right there.
Because they persevered.
Because they persevered. What else? Right there. Yes. You. Yep.
They got stronger.
They got stronger. Yes. So their failure made them stronger. Many of you will have days that you feel like all you see, all you hear is being pointed out that your uniform is not straight. You're not up to standard. Your bed's not up to standard. Your locker's not up to standard. You might get some IT because of that. Or maybe you do something that your cadre, say, hey, give me 50 push-ups. You're not supposed to curse. Anybody have that yet? You don't have to raise your hand. Your parents are watching. So you'd be like, I don't care. But those kind of things, failure makes us stronger. Don't be afraid to fail. And don't get frustrated. I understand why you would get frustrated when it feels like I continually get something pointed out. But eventually, you're going to make it. Your cadre point those things out to you because they care about you. Not because they're trying to pick on you, but care about you and want to make you stronger. They want to help you pass that bar. There's a long-standing effect on that. It's not just here. When you graduate from the academy, you will appreciate those lessons. You will appreciate the people that pushed you here so that when you go to a workplace and you know what the standard is, you don't accept less than the standard. And that's what we do. We don't accept less than the standard. So your cadre push you because they care about you. They want to make you stronger. Don't be afraid of failure. Another lesson that he talks about, and this is one I'm sure you've already been talked to from your cadre, is be a person of integrity no matter what. And he goes on to say, even if it costs you your life, nothing's going to cost you your life here. but be a person of integrity. I tell my kids, and I'm telling you, my kids at home, protect the quiet moments of your life. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is there will be times when you are sitting at your rack, or maybe a cadre steps away from your flight for a moment. Those are your quiet times. Those are your quiet moments. Those are the times when you might think nobody's watching. Protect those moments, because those moments will define who you are. They will define what integrity is for you. It's easy to do the right thing when somebody's watching. It's not as easy to do it when nobody's watching. Protect those quiet moments. Be a person of integrity no matter what. And then one that he talks about, and I have a personal experience. Has anybody ever been whitewater rafting at all? Okay? So when you're whitewater rafting and you're going down the river, everybody needs to paddle, right? You got your guide, and then you got people on the side of the boat. And the best way, the fastest way, the easiest way to get through some of those waves is everybody has to paddle on the boat. Everybody has to contribute, or the boat can go sideways and can flip if not everybody's putting in their part. Don't be afraid to paddle. Everybody needs to paddle. When you're organizing your flights, you're organizing your elements, you're organizing your classes during education, don't be the person that drops your paddle and is not being part of the team. Don't leave your paddle behind. Always have it with you. Always be a positive part of the team and contribute. So, don't drop your paddle. And then I told you when we started the class, and I'm wrapping up here. I told you when we started the class about a personal experience that I had this year. Well, New Year's, my wife broke both of her legs. We were at a trampoline park. And she jumped off this platform and landed on this stump bag, this airbag thing, and both of her legs went like this. Dislocated. She had to have surgery on both of them. She couldn't walk for about 3 months. And we used to do a lot of Spartan races together. That was one of the things we liked to do. You know, go crawl through the mud, climb some ropes, jump over obstacles. And so she had a medal holder on the wall in our bedroom where she put all of her medals. I put mine in my office here. But her holder said, "Because I can." And for the longest time, she sat in the bed looking at that thing, and she was so frustrated because she kept thinking, "I can't anymore. I can't walk. I can't do all those things." And that saying, she said, was like glaring at her in the face. Until one day she realized that she didn't need to start with all of those achievements she had made before. And sometimes you guys, you don't have to start with something that somebody else is already doing. You don't have to be something big and grand. You just need to be, she decided to be a little stronger than she was yesterday. And that's how she was going to walk again. She just had to get up and maybe take a few more, even if it was 2 or 3 more steps than she had done the day before. Take a few more steps. Be a little stronger than yesterday. And then she started looking at that thing on the wall and saying that she can do that, and that's what she can do. So instead of glaring at her, she started thinking, I can be stronger than yesterday because I can. And that's my challenge to all of you, is to be stronger than yesterday. Be a person of integrity. Don't drop your paddle. Don't be afraid of failure. And be stronger than yesterday in all of those areas. Be okay with that. The last thing that he shares, I know many of you have probably heard about it, is he talked about the bell. Do you guys know what the bell means in Navy SEAL training? Yes? Reunion quit. They put them through a lot that we have in our lives. And all they had to do, all the SEAL had to do any one of those days is they could walk up and ring that bell. And what does that mean for them? That means they get to go home and be with their families. That means they don't have to do the PT anymore. That means they don't have to struggle. through the training. It means they don't have to get stronger every day. They can just go home, go back to their families. And he said, don't ever be a person that rings the bell. So that's my last challenge to you, is don't be a bell ringer. I know there's some of you still thinking in your mind that I want to ring that bell. I want to go home, this is too tough. I miss my family needs me. There's a bunch of a myriad of excuses and things that we can think of in our minds that try and convince us that we need to ring that bell. We need to be the person that goes home. But you guys all have an opportunity to build a legacy here. Right now, if every one of you graduated, you would be the largest class that Idaho has ever graduated. And that's my challenge to you. Be the largest class that we've ever graduated. Don't be a bell ringer. Don't be afraid of the failure. Don't be afraid of your cadre telling you need to fix this or that. I mean, take a look. If you think of it as going along the road and you run a stop sign. I know none of you ever ran a stop sign when you were driving. Those of you that have driver's licenses. Or ever sped. Right? Nobody's ever sped. What happens if a police officer pulls you over and says, hey, you were speeding. I'm just going to give you a warning this time. You don't get a ticket, right? What happens if they pull you over a second time? Maybe you might get a warning again. Maybe you might get a ticket. And then you keep doing the same thing. They pull you over again, you might get another ticket. Eventually, you get to the point where they say, you know what? Step out of your car and give me your driver's license. You're right in the back. Because you violated the law so many times. Starts with the little corrections. That's kind of what we do here. We don't want you to get to the point where you are doing something so much that you don't know how to do it right. That's what your cadre are doing. Just think of it as those friendly people trying to tell you, hey, these are minor corrections you just need. So, remember what legacy is? Be a person of integrity. Don't drop your paddle on your team. Always paddle, be a part of the team. Don't be afraid of failure. And say it nice and loud. Don't ring the bell. Go ahead. Don't ring the bell. Don't ring the bell. Congratulations. I haven't been here to see the last week of progress that you guys have made. I'm excited to, and actually I won't be here next week either. Deputy is the boss. She has been knighted the director for the last week and next week. And then I'll be here and I'm excited to be a part. I hope all of you are here again when I come back. So, Commandant, I present to you your squadron of cadets who are no longer candidates. Congratulations, squadron.
Alright, by show of hands real quick, I'm going to make this quick. I know it's getting hot in here, and I know we want to move on to the next event. But by show of hands, how many people feels like it was just yesterday that day 0 was here? Raise your hand. Okay, hold on. It is funny. And it's funny because I'm going to tell you why in just a second. Put your hands down. Week 22 is going to be here just as fast, okay? That's a promise I have for you. I promise you that in week 22, if you're still here and you're walking across that stage, you're going to be thinking back to this day and being like, that was yesterday. Man, I'm done. And then you're going to be home in a couple of years and you're going to be like, man, I miss it. I want to go back. We hear it all the time. It's every time. So keep that in mind as the days get long, things get hard. You're setting that legacy. The director said, just remember, time passes every moment. You're not stopping. You will reach your goal as long as you keep moving towards it. So keep that in mind. We're going to quickly do recite the Cadet Creed for your families. So everybody on your feet. Cadet Gallion, come up here, please. Cadet Gallion's going to lead us in the Cadet Creed. He's going to post up right here in about face, please. So, follow his lead. We're going to go off of him at his pace.
Squadron, the Cadet Creed.
We're going to continue to work on that. We need to max it out, do the right thing. We'll get it done by family days. You can present it to your parents then. Keep up the good work. Stay positive. Take all commands from the tower. You can't be wrong if you're listening to the person right in front of you. Understand? Yes, Commandant! All right, let's have a great weekend, great rest of the day, and start week 3, school. Start it off right. Cadre, take charge of your flight scare plan today.
Maintain the highest standard of excellence. Sorry, Tech Sergeant.
Pop. Figure it out.